Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here at Wolf Summit today. I hope you're having a lovely Tuesday and great start into the conference. My name is Sasha Lipman. I'm tuning all the way not so far from Austria. And I'm a co-founder of Tech to Impact, which is a global platform for the impact tech ecosystem. And today with me is Henry Dobson, all the way from Australia, which is a bit further than Austria, who is the founder of the Institute of Technological Ethics. And the topic we guys have with you today is responsible technology. And the reason why we picked it up is because we had the same exact conversation approximately half a year ago, looking more into technology. And in Tech to Impact, we truly believe that technology can be a great solution and a great tool to solve global problems. But we do acknowledge, as one great technologist once said, that technology is neither good nor bad nor is neutral. And that's why we, half a year ago, partnered up with the Institute and with Henry to look more into this topic. And right now, we're very happy to share with you our thoughts and insights on that. And also encourage you to check out the Responsible Tech campaign, which we are launching next week. Which is built around a lot of content, a lot of interesting insights about the topic, and built around an assessment, a self-evaluation assessment, which we created for any tech founder globally to look more into ethics and technology and how can you make sure that your technology is not causing any harm unintendedly. Let's maybe dive in a bit in the topic, right, Henry? We had this discussion before, and maybe let's start with the point of risks, right? Any founder is thinking about his technology, about his business, and wants to avoid any possible risks, right? So what do you think are the risks of modern technology we have right now?
So, yes, thank you, Sasha. Very good to be here. And that's a great question to start with. And the most sort of common risk, and the one that's perhaps the most talked about, is artificial intelligence, and in particular the bias and discrimination that happens with AI algorithms. And so one of the major risks in that respect has to do with how data is collected and used within an algorithm, and the fact that the data and the algorithm itself can be biased. And that bias can also have flow-on effects in relation to the decision-making outcomes. So it can also reinforce the bias within the humans at the other end. So bias and discrimination is perhaps one of the biggest social risks with artificial intelligence in particular. But then we also have much broader risks around democracy and social media, and the way in which social media platforms, by way of spreading misinformation or disinformation, are changing the social discourse. And of course, that is argued to have had an effect on election campaigns and elections in the past. Mm-hmm. And of course, it muddies the social domain essentially. And we're now sort of confronting problems around what is a fact, what is true, what is real. It's the lines between what is true and false is blurring because of the information being shared on social media.
I remember when the whole Black Lives Matter movement started, we started looking more into how technology, or if it can be the catalyst or the racism, to push more racism. And we knew about the problem, but we were so surprised by so many facts. I remember how shocked was I that the soap dispenser is not recognizing the color skin, and things like this, when people think that ethics are only about AI and data and everything, but they definitely goes far beyond that. But maybe you can tell us more how ethics can play a role in that. So, we know it's not good. Technology doesn't look good, but what can we do to make it better?
Yeah, well, I mean, technology is just inherently problematic, which is, why we're now facing so many problems. So it's not that, technology is inherently bad. It's not inherently bad. It's just inherently problematic. And so ethics is an investigation into those problems. Ethics just asks seemingly very simple questions. like, why is this bad? What are the outcomes, or what are the harms, and the adverse consequences that are happening, either with the technology or beyond the technology. And so, ethics is really just an investigation into why the problems exist, and it also looks at how we can address those problems. What is it that we need to do to make the technology better? So in a sense, it's a reflection. Ethics is a reflection on technology in this case, and it involves asking the right questions. Questions that really sort of dig deep into the nature and the functioning of tech products, and the consequences that happen as a result. So, that's really the project of ethics, you could say.
Let's be honest. I mean, for tech founders who are focused on building their product, scaling their business and everything, ethics might seem a bit philosophically far away, right? But it's actually not, guys. So that's something which we're happy to help you out on that. And maybe, Henry, you can start by translating it into more simple language. So what are these questions? What are the areas where I, as a tech founder, need to look deeper from the making sure that my technology is responsible?
Yeah, so ethics can involve very abstract questions and also very subjective questions. And the sort of very quick objection to ethics is that, it's all subjective. But actually, it's not. That's just a misconception or a misunderstanding that people have with ethics. Ethics is a number of things, and in a very practical manner, a very good place to start is with business ethics. And business ethics begins with asking questions like, what are the core values of our business? What does our business stand for? And so understanding the identity of the business, and the aims and the objectives of the business, and aligning those objectives with the core values, whether they be social or environmental or a combination of the both. Ethics will assist with understanding what the core values are and how to align the business. And then if there are other aspects with applied ethics, which involve asking questions around the social and the cultural understanding, and that looks at the languages and the social and cultural norms of the particular location in which a technology business is operating. So there are social and cultural considerations, and then another aspect is the technological ethics. Looking at the technology itself. Your algorithms, the data sets that you're using, and the way that a platform is functioning with customers or with users. And so, the tech ethics aspect is where the bias and discrimination come in. And then, there are broader aspects as well around democratic risks, and that also looks at sort of the consequential risks involved, beyond the technology.
Definitely, and I think what people don't also underestimate, when you think about big guys like Facebook and Google, and we all know Social Dilemma movie, that health risks and social risks are not only caused by social media. I guess it's something that people don't grasp, in a way that whenever you have an interaction of people and your solution and your technology, there is a high risk of social problems like cyberbullying and anti-respectful attitudes, right? And so much hate coming online. And people always like, no, I'm not Facebook. It's not my problem. Like, if you have two people talking to each other, it is your problem already. Definitely. And that's actually, guys, to give you a bit of a more deeper look in the assessment. This is how it is structured. This is exactly where you'll be able to go by the topic of business ethics, as Henry mentioned, social culture understanding, all the key points of technology design, and definitely looking into health risk, democratic and social, to give yourself a self-check. Where are you standing right now? And what are the things you might need to look further or think you need to put in your agenda as priority to improve? But talking about this, Henry, I think we're going a bit pessimistic about everything which can go wrong. I think which people can look into. Asking a try neutral question, let's see what your reaction will be. Technology by itself, it's a tool. Can it be by default responsible? What do you think?
The short answer to that is no. Technology is not by default responsible. It is designed to be responsible, and it has to be built responsibly. And so, just like any other tool, ultimately, it's us, we, the human beings, that are responsible at the end of the day. And the technology is only as good as we are. So in that sense, we have to ensure that when we're designing and developing technology, that we ourselves, have the right intentions, the right aims, and the sort of objectives, along with the right values. Whether it's the business values or one's own core values. The responsibility ultimately lies with us. Now, of course, we can design some technology to carry some of the ethical burden, so we can sort of shift some ethical decision making onto AI, for instance. But that is simply an extension. The AI ethics is simply an extension of our own ethics. It's not, technology is not responsible by default. It's us, the moral human beings, that are responsible sort of by default or not.
I love this phrase, technology as good as its people are behind it. It's so true. I love, seeing any entrepreneurs, like the ones who are practically focusing on solving global problems, or in general, any tech founder, how, we get so passionate about getting this idea on the market and pushing it forward. And those things are looking like, oh, it's not something I should care about now. Like, I can take a look at it after. But I think what a lot of founders don't understand completely is how bad it can go, how bad it can go in the long run. And then what are the actual consequences for the business, right? Like trust, credibility, losing customers, bad PR, anything. And even worse, actually doing a harm which causes financial risk or potential issues for the humanity, which I think not a lot of founders look into. That's why I'm very happy we have been working on this assessment for a while now, and happy to provide you guys with this tool so you can check a look at your technology, because you never know what can go wrong. And on this positive note, and one of the final questions, Henry, I have to you. Looking forward, I do have some thoughts on my side too, but I'm sure you will be more optimistic, hopefully, than I am about technology. What do you think? Our future and technology playing a role in it? What would you say?
Our future and
technology
playing a role in it. Yeah. Well, the future will be largely defined and determined by modern technology, and of course, our technology today will be more powerful and more sophisticated tomorrow, and more so the next day. And so, in 10 years' time, technology will be vastly more powerful and sophisticated than it is today. So the future is going to be largely defined and determined by technology as we proceed into the future. And again, this is why I believe, ethics is so important in both business and in the development of tech products, that we need to keep a very close eye on where we're going and where technology is taking us. Because if we don't keep a close eye on it, we'll lose track. We'll get lost, and technology will take us, potentially into dark places. But if we are a bit better trained with ethics, and if we as entrepreneurs and technologists and innovators, if we can build ethics into the design and the development of technology products, and if we keep a very close eye on how that technology progresses into the future, then we have every reason to be optimistic about the future. But if we don't do that work, if we don't do the ethical work, then the chances are less optimistic, you might say.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, that's, I guess, something which will be homework for all of you guys to ask yourself the right questions. And we're happy to help you on that. So, as we mentioned in the beginning, we have a big campaign coming up, which will be happening on tech2impact.com over next 9 weeks. So, starting from Monday on, giving you a very deep dive on ethical technology. How can you make sure that your technology is designed and operated responsibly? How can you make sure that whatever you guys are doing is only for the good cause in a way, not only to see not how your technologies are running or in general the business ethics. Yeah, so we're happy to help you guys with that. And we definitely encourage you to go on tech2impact.com and sign up for the newsletter. It's tech2impact with two as a number.com, where you can sign up for the newsletter. We're happy to inform you when we're launching on Monday and send you the link to the assessment so you can check yourself out, go through self-evaluation. It's totally anonymous. It's up to you. It's a tool for you guys. No reports from our side. It's a tool for you to help you out, and definitely we'll be happy to provide you more guidance and direction. How can you work with that? Because that's something which I was talking first with Henry, and this was the moment that I was like, it doesn't look good in any given direction. Can we do something about it? And yes, definitely, guys, we can. It's all about thinking, right? So just Henry already said, technology as good as the people are behind it. So we are sure you guys are all good folks out there on the other side of the screen, and want to make sure that your technology is good. Yeah. So on this lovely note, we would like to thank you for having us here, right, Henry? All the way from Australia, Austria. Pun intended, by the way. We hope you guys enjoy the conference, and we hope to see you over at tech2impact.com and help you out with your responsible technology. Thanks for having us. Have a lovely day.
Thank you very much. Bye.